Hey guys, Tom here, and today I am bringing you top 10 funniest backstage stories about WWE wrestlers. Number 10 is Mick Foley puts cookies inside DDP's bed. So Diamond Dallas Page was sharing a hotel room with Mick Foley and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and apparently DDP likes to walk around his room naked. So DDP was showering, Mick Foley hid chocolate chip cookies inside DDP's bed. DDP came back naked, got in his bed, and the cookies ended up being covered all over DDP. But it didn't end there. DDP got up and began attacking Mick with the cookies. Number 9 is everyone backstage was scared of Haku. Apparently Haku was one of the most feared wrestlers backstage, and one story is that he bit a man's nose off in a bar fight. Rumour has it that the idea to fire Haku came up many times in WCW, but Haku was never fired because Bischoff and other employees were too scared to actually fire him. Number 8, Warrior sniffs cookies. So Bret Hart encountered a time backstage with the Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior entered the locker room and was looking for something to eat. He found a cookie, and the health-conscious Warrior picked up the cookie, and instead of eating it, he sniffed it and then threw it away. He claimed the smell of it was enough to satisfy his hunger. What the heck? Number 7, Vince McMahon farting in his sleep. Imagine hearing your boss fart. Anyway, imagine sharing a bunk bed with your boss. The WWE were touring Iraq and the wrestlers were sleeping in bunk beds. The wrestlers themselves gave Vince his own bunk bed, but Punk claims to have heard McMahon during the night. He says he could hear him farting and even laughing to himself about him farting. That sounds absolutely hilarious. Can you imagine Vince McMahon farting and then laughing about it to himself during the middle of the night? That's what CM Punk claims. Sounds hilarious. There you go. Number 6, Rowdy Roddy Piper runs away from an alligator. So Roddy Piper and Kevin Sullivan were driving in Florida, and Piper wanted an alligator to make a belt and shoes. They stopped at a canal and shot an alligator. They believed it was dead when they saw it floating, so they got in the water, both of them, and went to fetch the alligator. This doesn't sound like a great idea. No, it really wasn't. The alligator was in fact not dead. It dived underwater. Both Piper and Sullivan hightailed it out of the water, scared shitless. I would be too if the alligator got back up. Holy shit, that was a near miss. Number 5, wrestlers shit on Jerry Lawler's crown. So Jerry Lawler is apparently very arrogant backstage, and Lawler's prized possession is his crown. So various superstars backstage wanted to teach him a lesson, so some of them actually shit on Jerry's crown. That is not nice. Number 4, CM Punk tells a policeman to go fuck himself. So CM Punk was driving when he got stopped by a policeman with his sniffer dog. The conversation was accounted by CM Punk, and it goes as followed. So the officer says to Punk, "Do you want to tell me about what's in your car?" And Punk says, "What?" The officer then says, "Is there anything in the car you want to tell me about? I'll give you the chance to tell me the truth. Why were you in Nashville?" So Punk says, whilst raising his fists right in the cop's face, "What do my knuckles say?" The officer says, "Why were you?" And then Punk cuts him off and says, "What do my knuckles say?" The officer says, "Drug free." And then Punk says, "Exactly, so I'm a little offended about the dog right now." The officer says, "Okay, well here's your warning, have a nice day." CM Punk says, "Go fuck yourself." There's only CM Punk who could get away with saying "go fuck yourself" to a policeman, but there you go. Number 3 is Owen Hart pretends to snort cocaine. So apparently Jim Ross was told to discuss with an unnamed wrestler his issues with cocaine. Jim Ross was pretty nervous about this conversation, and Owen Hart heard about this, and as a joke he rubbed powdered sugar from a donut under his nose and started squinting his eyes as though he was under the influence as he walked past JR. Apparently at the time JR was not too happy, but now he thinks it was quite hilarious. Number 2, Kurt Hennig shits under the ring. There's so many stories about shits in this, but anyway, here's the next one. Apparently before Ultimate Warrior was told to hide under the ring for a surprise appearance, Kurt Hennig went under the ring and took a dump. Yeah, you guessed it, that left Ultimate Warrior in a small, confined space with the smelly mess for several matches before he could get out. That sounds like absolute hell, and I certainly wouldn't want to be Ultimate Warrior. Number 1, it is The Undertaker scared of cucumbers. Apparently, Undertaker and Paul Bearer travelled from town to town together. Undertaker once made a joke about Bearer wetting himself at a gas station. Bearer wanted to take revenge on Undertaker for this, and apparently Undertaker has a strange fear of cucumbers. I've never heard of a fear of cucumbers, but apparently Undertaker has it. So Bearer, in revenge, filled the hat of his ring gear with cucumbers. Undertaker picks up his hat and ended up puking all over the hat and the cucumbers because he has this weird phobia of bloody cucumbers. That's absolutely mental. That rightly deserved number 1. I hope you guys have enjoyed this top 10 funniest backstage stories about WWE wrestlers. Smash the likes, guys. Subscribe for more top 10 WWE videos. Take care. Spike your hair.